Hello and welcome to my latest weekly video news from Madison's. I hope you had a great Easter. It feels like spring has sprung, but boy, there are some depressing news headlines out there at the moment, aren't there? Inflation in March running at 7%, the highest rate that it's ever been since 1992. And that is largely being caused by a rise in energy costs. Fuel, petrol, gas, diesel, all those things are seeing enormous price rocketings and affecting inflation massively. And the big energy companies actually came out yesterday and said that they're really worried about October. There's the end of the price cap coming up in April, but of course it's going to get warmer over the summer, so people won't be turning on their heating so much. But come October, when they do, they are genuinely concerned that many of their customers will not be able to afford their heating bills. And of course, anybody with oil will know, they'll already feel the pain for that. It's up 160%, the cost of oil over the last year. So they're already feeling a pinch from that. And of course, depressing to see those queues at the petrol stations again last week. The protesters causing issues here in the southeast. And London, and there being runs on petrol stations. I went to Sainsbury's to genuinely fill up my car and they were completely closed. So very depressing. And of course that might be making you think, should I get an electric car? I absolutely want to get one, but the wait list for them is huge. Electric cars have done phenomenally well recently. So in 2021, overall car sales were only up 1% on 2020. But electric cars, over 190,000 extra electric cars registered, representing a 76% increase. We see it quite a lot now with what people ask for properties. Off-street parking has always had its benefits. It's always been basically more convenient. You haven't got to hunt around for a space. Takes out an element of stress to your day. But of course, with the rise of electric cars, many people wanting off-road parking so they can charge their car. And there's been real calls on developers to build this more into the development of large-scale flats and developments. Last year, the government did say that anybody building a new house or a new commercial building, like a new supermarket, would have to put in some sort of electric car charging point, and indeed that included a major refurbishment. The exact regulations on that are awaited. They should be announcing them soon, so they keep saying, and there's calls in the industry to make that go wider to ensure that big flats also have arrangements made right at the outset to have electric car charging. And that's simply because it would get very, very complicated if you try to do it retrospectively. You might have issues about if it's an allocated parking space, does that person get the right to use the electric car charging point, or is it on a first come first serve basis? And also, if you want to have multiple people able to charge their car, you need to have the really high speed car charging systems that you get on the motorways at service stations. And that needs phase 3 electricity. Most houses are only laid with phase 1. That's all you really need for residential. So you need to lay phase 3 electricity to make sure that you can get those super fast charging points in. And it's simply felt that if all of that is ironed out at the offset when the development first goes in, then it'll be much, much easier. There is certainly more people buying electric cars. We need to have more facilities to be able to charge them. And with sites like the queues at the petrol stations, I think it makes anybody who's wavering about should they get an electric car think about it a bit quicker. Just order quite soon. That would be the only advice I'd give you, because there's quite a long waiting list. The war in Ukraine, which continues to have such devastating consequences, is one of the large reasons for the hike in oil and gas prices, and also is causing big delays on those cars. There's important bits that were made in factories in Ukraine which simply just aren't operating at the moment. I had a really interesting meal a couple of weeks ago, actually, sat next to a chap at lunch who said that if everybody puts in their electric car charging, he's not sure how the grid will be able to service that. But let's worry about that another day and at least start on the right direction. Well, of course, the Amelia, you've probably been seeing, they've been renovating that building in the centre of town for a long time now. It's due to open in just over a week. I'm really excited. I think it's going to be a great addition to the town. Do go to their website and look at everything that they are bringing. It's got a packed event, and of course the Literary Festival is coming up in Tunbridge Wells in May, and they are going to be taking part in that. So lots of exciting things. And if you fancy some really easy town centre living where you might not need to use your car so much because you live so conveniently conveniently for the town. How about this wonderful 2-bedroom flat that we have launched in Clarence Lodge, which is right in the heart of the town, but so tucked away on a little kind of road that no one knows about, that it feels very, very private and secluded and peaceful, actually. Beautifully presented, lovely spacious accommodation, no onward chain, and on at a guide of 380,000. If that appeals, do give us a call. I hope you have a great week. I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye-bye.